I haven't been this excited to make coffee, like ever. So yesterday in my French press breaks, not sure if you can see this, but kind of like over here, there's this massive chip in the glass. So it's pretty much ruined. So I head to the store to try and find a replacement, and I eventually settle on the Chemex. And particularly on YouTube, I've seen like a lot of, I guess, people make coffee in the Chemex, and it looks really, really good. So I thought, you know what, let me just buy it. Like, look at this thing. It's a solid piece of glass that is just freaking gorgeous. So immediately when I get home yesterday evening, I start watching YouTube videos around what is the best way to make Chemex coffee. And I went down a rabbit hole. Like, the level of specificity that these baristas and these kind of coffee enthusiasts like went into is quite extraordinary. You know, talking about the best way to brew your coffee around, you know, monitoring how much water you're entering into the brew at what time and for how long, and then adding a second kind of pour onto that for X number of grams of water over a period of time. And it just got a lot really, really quickly. So I've kind of pulled the basic principles out of it, and we're going to try and make a cup of coffee. Can the baristas and coffee enthusiasts just please not bite my head off? Like, I just want to enjoy this cup of coffee, please. Okay, let's make our first brew of Chemex ever. Yeah. Like, that's really, really clean. Okay, I think I need to sit down for this. Okay, there's something that this brew method is doing that I haven't tasted before. It's quite extraordinary. Like, all that acidity that's usually like in, I know, like in this batch of coffee that I usually drink from Woolies, well, not all of it, but a lot of it is not there anymore. Like, it somehow feels like more smoother, like more evenly bodied, if that makes sense. I mean, it's not like changing like the coffee texture or the mouthfeel of it at all. I think it's still kind of the same, and the flavor is still there. But I think a lot of that acidity has been kind of toned down quite a bit, and as far as I know, that's because of the filter paper that's used for the Chemex. I'm not one for like enjoying my coffee black. I usually throw in some kind of non-dairy milk, but I'm really kind of enjoying this coffee just the way it is. It's really, really, really nice. So you know what, I actually am going to try and add some milk to this. This is Simple Truth's oat milk. I kind of like the oat milk over the almond milk. It just tastes better and has a better kind of creaminess to the milk. Oh, you know what? This tastes like I bought this coffee somewhere from some market in Woodstock. Like, it's good with the oat milk. Look, I don't know if this is just a novelty of the first time of me making coffee in the Chemex, and maybe that affecting how my brain is perceiving how this coffee is tasting, but like this is by far one of the most beautiful things that I've drank coffee out of or made coffee in. Like look at this. Like the coffee has a beautiful color to it. Like it's incredible. So I guess the obvious question is the Chemex worth it? I paid 1,200 Rand for the Chemex itself, and then you've got to buy the additional filters. Now, before everybody freaks out and goes like, oh my god, I would never spend that much money on a coffee maker. I like my coffee. I'm not like a coffee enthusiast, and I don't like bend over backwards to try and get like the best coffee ever. But I do like my morning coffee a lot. Like it's actually much better than doing it in the French press for me. I like the flavor. There's less acidity in the coffee for me, and it makes it more enjoyable, I guess. So for me, I can justify that purchase because I drink coffee every morning, and I really want good coffee in the morning. So as a way to brew that good coffee, I'm gonna do it through like a good brew method. Does that make sense? Now, without nerding out too much about coffee and how, you know, certain brews are prepared, there is a thing about process that I do really enjoy. And I think the ritual and the routine of, you know, rinsing your flask out, grinding the beans, pouring the water over it slowly. There is a ritual around, you know, making that morning brew. And there is some kind of peace of mind that comes with that. That really does start your day in a way that is both focused and relaxed. And I've heard many coffee enthusiasts talk about that, not just necessarily the drinking of coffee, but how coffee gets made and the act of doing, and that being a kind of form of, I guess, therapy and meditation in some kind of way. And I guess that's something that I can relate to. There's a thing about doing these everyday mundane tasks that just brings you some kind of emotional and mental satisfaction in a very calming kind of way. So on that level, making coffee in the morning is really quite something. But there is this element of that we don't only eat with our mouths, we eat with our eyes, with all of our senses. And if I was drinking coffee out of this thing every morning, then is the Chemex and the coffee that it makes worth it? Ah, come on.